Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel that knows nothing. I'm Jam and let's get to it. So today we are diving into the Ben and Jerry's book tag. How delicious. Let's go. Question number 1 in this delicious tag is vanilla caramel fudge, and that is pick a light and fluffy contemporary. And I don't think this counts because it's kind of not a contemporary, but I really want to pick it for this because it definitely has those light and fluffy vibes, and I'm going to pick The Tea, A Dragon Society for this one. Even though it doesn't 100% count, I am counting it. It's not contemporary, but it's definitely those light and fluffy vibes that we all need and we all love. Question number 2 in this tag is mint chocolate cookie, and that is pick a new release that everyone should read, and it's definitely not new, but it's the newest from this author. I decided to pick Imogen, obviously, because it is such a light read. It's really fun. I had a lot of fun reading it, and I just feel like it's that typical romance where you know what's gonna happen, but you keep reading because you want that. You want the cuteness, you want the gay cuteness. And it's definitely a fun read. I had a lot of fun reading it. It's a little bit sad, but you know, sometimes that's what you get in young adult. Number 3 in this tag is Caramel Savelli. I don't even know. I don't know how to pronounce it, if I'm honest. But a last book in a series that you were completely satisfied with, and I have to pick The Women of Troy for this one. I loved it. I think it's only a duology, but I wouldn't complain if there was going to be a third novel in that series. I just feel like it is so cool to have it from a completely different perspective, like the Battle of Troy and the lead up to it. It is just so cool, and I love it from the women's perspective. It's like so much better than like all the gory battle details you get in all the other like Greek mythology books. It's kind of like slows it down, and you still like get to experience this story just in a completely different way, and I love it. Question number 4 in this tag is Cherry Garcia, and that was an end that was bittersweet, and I've picked The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes for this one because I feel like through the entire book you're just rooting for Snow to be good, and you know that that is just not gonna happen. Like, he is the bad guy in the Hunger Games trilogy, and like you get to know him more in this prequel book. You just kind of like feel sorry for him, which is like something that you don't want to feel, but you do anyway if you've got empathy. And it kind of sucks because you kind of want things to turn out all good for him, and obviously it eventually does, but like he just goes down the dark path of things when he could have picked the light path. He had like so many opportunities to just do good, and he decided to be a dickhead instead. But that's not that surprising knowing his character from the later books. But yeah, it definitely has a bittersweet ending because like he could have been happy. He could have run off with Lucy Gray, but he decided to go crazy and try and kill her instead. Also, I really don't think she's dead because I feel like, you know, Suzanne Collins would definitely have said something, right? She would have said, yep, she gone. I feel like she like lived out her life in the woods and maybe went back to the Covey, or the Covey came and found her. That is what my, you know, perfect ending for her would have been. I hope she's not dead. I hope she didn't just bleed out in the forest, because that is not the end that that girl deserves. Question number 5 in this tag is Strawberry Shortcake, and that is pick a book that has your favorite OTP in it, and I have to pick Percy Jackson because I absolutely love Percy and Annabeth together. They just work so well. They're so wholesome and cute. I kind of want like books like down the line when they have kids, but like that's probably never gonna happen. But they're just so wholesome. They're probably like one of my favorite couples. Like when I first started reading, I was just like, this is endgame. This is definitely gonna happen. If it doesn't, I will be very, very sad. Question number 6 in this tag is Milk and Cookies, and that is pick 2 authors that if they came together, it would be the perfect collaboration. And I would really love to see Rick Riordan work with Becky Albertalli because I feel like she has like a more mature like writing. I recently read like Percy Jackson, like the most recent one that he's released, and it felt very like kiddish to me, and it's probably because it's not directed at me whatsoever. But I feel like if she had a more mature lens and he came in with all the fun stuff, it'd be a really cool book. It would have to be in the fantasy genre or like a portal fantasy type thing, so Becky could, you know, thrive in like the real world and Rick could thrive in the fantasy world. I think it would be really cool, but who knows if that will ever happen. Question number 7 in this tag is Boston Cream Pie, and that is pick a book that had you turning the pages all night. And I decided to pick Lion Boy for this one because I love this book. I listened to it as an audiobook when I was a kid, and I just really like the premise of a guy being able to talk to cats. It doesn't matter whether it's like a normal domestic cat or a freaking lion. I just think the whole like idea of it is really cute, and he's trying to find his parents because his parents have been kidnapped. It is like just an amazing sort of like idea for a story, and then the kid who can speak to lions ends up joining the circus and working with the lions because, you know, what else would you do in that situation? Question number 8 in this tag is Chocolate Therapy, and that is pick a book that makes you feel better after a long day of existing. And I decided to pick Brain Is Not Always Right because I feel like it is just a very wholesome read, and also, like, you know, is so good for people of that older generation. It's just like sometimes you don't need to listen to your brain, it is not always right. Sometimes you need to listen to what your heart is telling you, and I feel like it is just so cute. It's very dear to my heart. It's definitely one of those picture books that I picked up not really expecting much of. I just picked it up because I really like the art, and I end up like falling in love with it completely, and it makes me cry every single time I read it. Question number 9 in this tag is Coffee Coffee Buzz Buzz Buzz, and that is pick a book that is not yet released but you want to get your hands on. And this book has been released, but I feel like everybody has been talking about it to me, so I really want to read it. Is Yellowface. I feel like I really want to like know what it's about. I barely know like the premise of the book, but everyone I know is talking about it, and I'm like, I want to go in with no context and read it and see what I think, you know? Anyway guys, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, subscribe because it is always nice, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.